Thanks to Wendigo Tea for their support. They're keeping each episode steeped in mystery and value. WendigoTea.com.
Your daily game plan for success. It's Sachs in the Morning. Steve Sachs.
Hi, Steve Sachs here with Sachs in the Morning, and today is Wednesday, April the 26th, and I'm sharing some stories of people overcoming the odds to succeed in sports. And while I'm in the studio today, I'm enjoying a cup of Wendigo's green tea, and it's the perfect cup of tea for a beautiful spring day. It's organically grown and clipped from the highest quality of plants with no added flavors or preservatives. Just fresh, dried nature in a mug. I'll tell you what, we have so much tall green grass and wildflowers blooming up here in Northern California. When I close my eyes and sip this cup of tea, whoa, it soothes my throat. And that brings me to that lush spring landscape. So to get your hands on some of this amazing green tea, go to wendigotea.com and use the promo code of SAX at your checkout. That's SAX. And you can save 15% on your order. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the game of basketball. We're into the NBA playoffs, which is always exciting, and I want you to stop and close your eyes and just picture what you think of when you think of a professional basketball player. I bet the first thing you thought about was, man, this dude is really tall, right? Well, that's pretty much a prerequisite to be a great basketball player. Well, not so much with the great Muggsy Bogues, who stood a mere 5'3", yet played 14 years in the NBA. Many of you might remember Muggsy Bogues, and whether you do or you don't, just think about that for a second. 5'3", that's short just walking around in the regular world. But on an NBA court? Oh, come on, forget about it. Yet Muggsy never doubted his talent. In fact, even as a kid in Baltimore, he knew that he could play. In high school, he was on a team at Dunbar High that is famous for going 59-0. I mean, who goes 59-0? 11 of those players went on to play Division I basketball, and 4 of them were drafted into the NBA, including Muggsy. And you could argue that Muggsy had the best pro career out of all of them. In fact, I don't even know that you need to argue that. Muggsy was an absolute pest on the court, known for his relentless pace and play. Doc Rivers once remarked that when Muggsy was on the court, it felt like there were 5 Muggsies out there. Muggsy focused on the fundamental, and he learned how to run an offense, pushing the ball up the court and finding the open man. He was always trusted with the ball in key moments by his teammates, and he was also an underrated shooter, averaging double-digit points in 3 seasons, despite never averaging more than 9 shots a game. His 82% career free throw percentage again showed his dedication to being good at the aspects of the game that had nothing to do with height. His most impressive stat was how he took care of the ball, with a career assist-to-turnover ratio of 4.69 to 1, the best in NBA history for players in the top 100 for the number of career assists. More simply put, Muggsy took care of the basketball better than any player in NBA history. So I remember watching Muggsy Bogues play, and I thought, okay, at one point, you're going to really expose this guy. Okay, obviously it's his height. And there's a way that you could pin him in a corner or just time after time embarrass him on shots. But he was like that quarterback that you can never get a good lick on. You can never get a good hit on the guy. That's kind of what Muggsy Bogues was like. He didn't put himself in a position to be a failure. And isn't that reminiscent of some of the things that we could do in our lives as well? Here's a guy, 5'3", going against 7-footers and looked comfortable on the court because he always chose to be in a position of success. He wasn't going to get bound up in a corner by 2 or 3 of these guys. He wasn't going to take crazy shots. You could see his free throw percentage was also amazing. Anything that he did on the court was going to be a very successful thing for him because he knew his limitations. He knew that he wasn't going to go in the paint and do hook shots. He knew that he had to stay on the periphery and take very high calculated risks. When you look at this situation, the biggest thing I think that Muggsy had going for him was he believed it. He believed he belonged in those games. I mean, you look at times when he was guarding guys like Larry Bird or Michael Jordan. I mean, he came up to their waist. And he still found a way to be, sometimes a dominant player on the court. So what's our issue? I mean, I take one look at Muggsy Bogues, and I'm thankful I got to watch him play. Because there's a lesson if you can watch Muggsy Bogues. He believes it. And that's why he was so darn successful and really good basketball player. And that's my short for today. If you like what you heard, give us a positive review, subscribe, and share. Also, remember that the Sax in the Morning swag is now available on my Instagram site. Go to Sax in the Morning _podcast. You'll see it right there on the Instagram, and just hit the link. Everything's there, mugs, hats, tumblers, you name it. Take advantage of it.